Hey everybody, welcome to Cage My IQ. As always, I'm your host D-Big, and joining with me today is UFC veteran Justin Jaynes. How's it going, Justin?
Hey man, everything's going good out here in Las Vegas. Just enjoying this nice weather. How's it going over there in New Jersey?
It's not going too bad. It's a little hot right now, of course, with the humidity. Can't wait for it to die down a little bit. Definitely not looking forward to the winter, but can't complain.
Absolutely, I feel you.
As everybody knows, Justin James had that controversial split decision loss to Charles Rosa back in the end of June. We'll get to that in a second, but before we get to that, I just wanted to throw down a question for you. Like, how did you get started in MMA and then becoming a pro? And then how was life like growing up for you?
Yeah, well, let's start with how life was growing up, man. I lived a very simple life, still do for the most part. I lived on a horse ranch in a small town called Richmond, Michigan. It's about an hour north of Detroit. Grew up, playing sports just like any other normal kid, man. Played baseball, soccer, football. Ran track. I tried to do a little bit of everything. In high school, I really excelled in wrestling. After my high school, after I was done with high school, I wanted to wrestle in college and play football in college. And when I was training for football, a guy named Andy McLaughlin, approached me and talked about doing MMA, and I really didn't want to do it at first. Long story short, he talked me into doing it. I lost my first fight. I have a big ego, so I want to do it again. Won my second fight, and I was hooked after that. When I moved to college, Olivet College, Darren Cruikshank was my roommate. He's like a 10-time UFC vet. So we would grapple and we'd wrestle and we'd work our kickboxing, and we grew up on the amateur circuit together. Kind of we call ourselves the Bash Brothers, and we just go to all these local shows and fight whoever they give us. Then he came out to Vegas in 2009 for a summer to train, and I followed him, and I just fell in love with Vegas. And when I graduated in 2012, I moved out here. Worked full time, still work full time at the gym, trained full time. And 2013, I turned pro, and as the rest is history, man. Got to the UFC last year, got the call on short notice, and made the most of it.
Now, how was the regional scene for you? And then how did it feel to get the call that you were going to the UFC and getting up to the big leagues?
The regional scene was incredible, man. I was very fortunate. The professional regional scene was great. I became the champion of a couple of different organizations. I got to travel the world. I got to go fight in Scotland. I got to go to Thailand. I got to fight in India. I just got to travel and travel. I got to travel all over the country, different states, and just display my skill set. So I was very fortunate for the for the regional scene. And man, when I got the call last year to fight Frank Camacho on 2-day notice, it was a dream come true, man. A storyteller couldn't have wrote this story any better, man. It's showed up, made weight, he missed weight, knocked him out in 40 seconds, collected my check, and all in a day, baby.
That's what I was going to ask you next. How was that experience? Because that's all everybody talks about is you being the underdog, of course, in that fight and just knocking them out the way you did. That's like a UFC highlight that everybody just recognizes. How was that feeling?
I mean, like I said, dude, you know, it was a story to me, man. I couldn't have written it any better. It's like who very rarely does somebody get, a short notice fight on 2 days, makes weight after their opponent misses weight and then knocks them out in 30 seconds, especially someone like Frank. Frank already had like 10 fights in the UFC prior to that fight. So, honestly, as unexpected as it was, my ego expected it. And, I wasn't surprised after the result. But moving forward, Frank's a great fighter, and it was a great competition. I just happened to hit him a little bit harder than he hit me at the right time.
Now, how is it like training at Xtreme Couture? And then I also know that you are a coach there. How is it like trying to split time between training for a fight and then also coaching?
The gym, I'm very fortunate and very thankful to be a part of Xtreme Couture. Because, like I said, I started my whole career here. That's not true. I came out here in 2009. I started my career back in Michigan with James Lee, Kara Rowe. But the majority of my career has been in Vegas, man. And Xtreme Couture has taken care of me so good. They give me classes to help me pay for my bills. My coaching staff they're my best friends. So it's a really tight knit group there, and I'm very thankful. And I love Xtreme Couture because it's such a diverse, bunch of guys. We got guys like Francis Ngannou. We have the UFC heavyweight champion, and we have Brandon Moreno training at Xtreme Couture too. So, I mean, we just have a plethora of incredible guys, incredible training partners, incredible champions. And even Randy Couture comes through every now and then and he'll jump into practice and beat some guys up.
Now, how does it look to have Francis Ngannou there now? Because I believe he's only been there for like a year. I believe it is a year or 2 years. How's it been like to have him there, and have you been able to like pick his brain and talk to him at all?
Yeah, man. I mean, I don't really ask him any questions. It's Francis is a super nice and quiet guy.
Yeah.
He doesn't engage in too many conversations at the gym. I mean, anytime I see him, I'm will chop it up. How you doing? Kind of bullshit. But honestly, Francis is just so young in the game too. I mean, we're all learning, so we're all trying to learn from each other. I could learn some stuff from him. He could learn some stuff from me. At the end of the day, Francis is a superhuman freak, man. It's incredible standing next to this guy, 6'4", 270 pounds of just pure muscle, and it's intimidating almost standing around him. But he's such a nice guy, and I'm very thankful to have him as a teammate.
I feel like since he has gone to Extreme Couture, uh, just in the past month or two, his coach has been getting media calls and everything, just talking about when he's going to be fighting. I feel like every other day. I feel like just in the past month, the coach has gotten so much work compared to what he's done in the past year. Has it been like that for the whole gym, or or just lately?
No, I mean Francis and Eric Nixick. Eric's his head coach. I mean
Yeah.
they're close. Andy's the manager of Xtreme Couture. I've known Eric since 2009, maybe 2008 even. He's a great guy. He's a great coach, and I think what he's doing with Francis is just incredible. And Eric's a guy that steps up. So when someone knocks on the door, he's going to answer. He's not cutting any corners when it comes to Francis, and he's gonna make sure Francis has the best matchup and makes the most money and is ready for anybody they throw at him. I think right now, I personally thought Stipe was going to get an immediate rematch. Doesn't look like that's about to happen. I've actually heard rumors of Stipe and John Jones fighting for number one contendership. But whoever the UFC throws at Francis, Eric and Francis are going to be ready to take him out.
From what I hear from everybody, I feel like Extreme Couture, the camaraderie among all the fighters is really well. Is that something that attracted you to go to the gym other than just training? Or was that something that you just noticed after you joined the gym?
Well, when I first got to the gym in 2009, it wasn't a very big camaraderie. It wasn't a very tight group of guys. Because there were so many UFC fighters, and say there's 20 guys in the gym. 10 of them were on the UFC roster, and then 5 of them would all fight in the same weight class. So, everyone was kind of doing their own thing for a while. But right now, I feel that Eric has really brought the gym together. It's a very tight knit group. I mean, you get you get a couple guys coming in and out, with their groups and stuff. But yeah, man, I trust everybody at the gym for the most part, and I couldn't be prouder to be anywhere else.
Now to come right to the present with, of course, the Charles Rosa fight. How did you feel like about getting the split decision loss? Of course, and of course, it didn't go your way. What did you feel about the fight in general? And then tell me about the story about you betting on yourself and how that came about.
Sure. Yeah. So Charles Rosa, man, he's a super tough competitor. He's been in the UFC for a really long time, as all my opponents have. Finally, the UFC gave me a full camp, and it's only the second time I was ever got down to featherweight. I mean, personally, unfortunately, I came up short. I'm not going to sit here and cry over spilt milk and say, "Oh, I won the fight," blah blah blah. I definitely didn't win the fight. The judges said I didn't. It doesn't matter if I drop Charles every round. If the judges say I didn't win the fight, I didn't win the fight, man. And hey, that was a bummer. I thought, I'm biased. I thought I won the third round. Adelaide Bird thought that I lost every round, which is incredible. And one of the other judges thought I lost the first round. Man, it's a close fight. Coming to the bet, one of my teammates talked about, making a big bet on themselves. They didn't follow through. So, I just felt it was, I had to follow through. After I said I was going to do it, I did. I bet 20,000 on myself to win. And, unfortunately, I just didn't do enough to put him away. I mean, I hit him with some big shots. I rocked him, took him down, had him in danger on a very, very deep side choke. But at the end of the day, it wasn't enough, and I didn't get the nod. And the best day of my life was when I knocked Frank Camacho out. And one of the worst days of my life is losing to Charles Rosa. It's nothing personal, but I don't feel he did any damage to me during the fight. I felt I did the damage to him. I mean, he was all bloodied up. He was hurting. But again, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what I think. It matters what three of the judges think, man. And, like I said, the UFC's brought me the highest highs and the lowest lows, and I'll be back, though.
You mentioned that for this fight, it was the first time you've had a chance to have like a full training camp. Do you feel like that's something that might have been hindering you for the other three fights, taking fights and not having like a full training camp? And then the second part to this would be, what are you doing now to try and improve yourself to try and get off the snide and get on the winning track?
Honestly, it's I definitely think that all the short notice fights have something to do. Like when I fought Devontae Smith in February, my manager calls on Tuesday, and he's like, "Hey, you want to fight this weekend?" And I was battling with some injuries, and I was like, "Dude, I'm not in shape. I haven't sparred one time since I fought Gabriel Benitez in December." And I was like, I told him, like, if you guys are desperate and you definitely need me to step up, no problem. But I want a contract negotiation, and they said done. So I fought Devontae Smith with zero training. Gabriel Benitez, I fought him in December. Him and I both just had been getting off COVID. You know what I mean? So, like literally, I had COVID at the end of October, or excuse me, at the middle of November through like November 20th, and I fought him December 4th. So, these are all these little things that just add up. And, I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm unlucky or whatever, but yeah, I think a full camp could definitely change how the result ended in a lot of these fights. Even when I fought Gavin Tucker, that was 3-week notice. I had never made featherweight before. I cut 30 pounds in 3 weeks. I showed up, dropped him in the first round, almost had him finished. I gassed out after the first round. So to answer your question about the full camp, I think it definitely played a factor in my record. I think it played a factor in my career. But that being said, I'm a company man. I show up, I make weight, and I try to knock people out. And that's what it all comes down to at the end of the day.
What are you doing now to try and correct any of the mistakes that you have made, like in training? How's your training been like since the Rosa fight?
I haven't been training much. I broke my nose in a while back, and I wanted to get it fixed. So I'm taking a little bit of time off. I won't be back into hard training till probably September. So right now I'm just enjoying time with my family. My son's with me in Vegas, and I'm doing some training with him, doing just some. I shouldn't say I'm not training at all. I'm just not sparring or grappling right now. I can't take any damage to the nose. Right now I'm just lifting weights, trying to build my confidence back up, trying to get remotivated to take another run at this thing.
Speaking of just enjoying yourself right now before you go back, as you see here, last week I saw that you went to Death Valley National Park. How was
Valley
that?
of Fire, Valley of Fire, Valley of
Oh,
Fire.
yeah.
Yeah, Valley of Fire. It was incredible, man. This big rant, like, dude, I'm a big time hunter. Hunting is my passion. Fishing is my passion. MMA is even secondary to all that. So coming across this trophy ram that was pinched between two boulders was surreal. It's illegal to take them, so I left it as is. But yeah, man, what an incredible experience to come up on such a beautiful ram. And man, I'd be lucky enough to ever get one of those that big in real life.
What else have you done in your spare time? I saw that you in another picture that you were shooting archery. Is that something that you like to do, or?
Oh yeah, definitely, man. I'm a big time bow hunter. I'm actually trying to arrange an elk hunt next week or the following week. I'm gonna take my son up to Utah, take my bow up there, and hopefully we can come across an elk and pop one. So yeah, I'm super excited about that. I'm very outdoorsy. Like I said, I love fishing and hunting. Those are my two favorite passions, man, or my two biggest passions, I should say. So everyone always asks why I fight, and hunting and fishing, it's expensive, man. So I fight so I can afford hunting and fishing.
What is your wildest story of either hunting or fishing that you could tell me?
I'll tell you the wildest story, and I don't think, maybe you can, but I don't think it's going to be hard for you to find a story to top it. I was tuna fishing a couple of years ago out in San Diego. We were about 40 miles offshore. It was me and two buddies. We're on his boat, and this whale surfaces right next to our boat. And we're talking about a 70-foot fin whale, and we're trying to navigate around so the whale doesn't hit us. And meanwhile, I'm stripping down to my underwear. I get down to my underwear. I jump in the water, and the whale ends up swimming right up next to me. I just wanted to get in the water with the whale. The whale swims up right next to me and within an arm's length. And I'm like, holy shit, this is crazy. And it ends up diving under the water, the whale does, and then it resurfaces with me on its back. And I took this 70-foot whale for a little spin around the Pacific, and a lot of people don't believe it when I tell the story. So I say, check out my Instagram, Justin Jaynes riding the whale. I posted it after Conor McGregor said he was the best fisherman in the UFC. I rebutted against him, and I posted the video of me riding a whale. We're 50 miles offshore and 2,000 feet of water looking for tuna. And I was fortunate enough to where this whale, like I said, swims right up to me and puts me on its back, man. And check it out on my Instagram. It's probably on my Twitter as well, of me riding a whale.
Yeah, so once again, everybody, if you want to check that out, go to his Instagram, Justin Jaynes. You can just search there. Definitely check it out. I heard a little bit about it, but I'm definitely going to go down there and check it out because that just sounds wild. Just how was the experience of being on top of a whale?
Dude, I mean, it was honestly surreal. It was one of the best experiences of my life. Like, it was a weird emotional connection with this animal because all I could think about is why is this whale coming to me? And I don't know enough about mammals, mammals in the wild, and all I can think of, maybe it thought that I was in distress, and it was trying to save me or help me, because I've seen like monkeys like pull people out of water, or try to pull, help people. So I mean, I don't know anything about anything, dude, but for whatever reason, this whale came over to me and checked me out, and then threw me up on its back. And like I said, you'll see the pictures, you'll see the video. This is a real life story, and I don't know why it did it. Why I don't know what it did, why it did what it did, but it did, and I'm very grateful and thankful for it.
Now, one thing that I have to know about is your nickname. Who gave you the nickname Guitar Hero?
Oh man, Nick, that was a college thing, man. It's early on in my career, like I said, I was a wrestler, so I was very boring, and it's fuck. I would try and come up with little gimmicks to get people excited to watch me fight, and the Guitar Hero was one of my favorite ones, and it was a fan favorite. I strum the guitar again. Check out my Instagram, JAY09MI, and there's some pictures of me walking to the cage with this guitar, strumming it, and it started off as a dare, and then it stuck. And last time I did it was in like 2012, where I dance and rock all the way down to the cage, and I hadn't done it since. And then Bruce Buffer announced me as the Guitar Hero, and I was kind of almost caught off guard when I was fighting Frank. And it is what it is. The Guitar Hero is alive and well, man.
Have you been able to watch any fights lately? And then if so, is there a favorite one that you just watched and you're just like, wow, these guys just went to town and just put on a show?
I try. Believe it or not, I don't really watch a lot of MMA, unless I go to the bar with some friends or stuff. But I really enjoyed, Sean O'Malley and that guy he just fought. That was a very enjoyable fight. I wish Herb wouldn't have stopped in the last 30 seconds. I would have liked to see the guy go out on his sword. But at the end of the day, man, that kid's super tough. And that was an exciting fight to watch. I was really hoping he'd catch Sean and drop him, but unfortunately didn't.
Oh yeah, Chris Patino. I enjoyed watching him there. Then he put out the story how he fought the fight, and then 2 days later, he's back in the gym teaching his classes.
Oh yeah,
Because he coaches, and then I think that guy has a wonderful future ahead of him because he took that only on a week or two notice.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, short notice fight, man. I'm always rooting for the underdog. Seeing that I'm the underdog every fight, I got to root for the underdog as well. And I was really hoping he'd catch Sean and put him away.
Now, when are you looking to get back into the octagon? I know you said you're going to try and get back to like full training by September and whatnot. When's the target date for you to get back?
I would fight in late September or October. I just want to make sure my nose is healed, and because the recovery process of a nose surgery is fucking terrible. So I don't want to go, jump in too early and have it re-broke and have to go through this whole process again. But I would say at the latest October, at the very latest.
Okay, and then one question I have before we let you go on because it's a nice day over
Sure.
in Vegas, but what do you want people to when everybody thinks of Justin Jaynes, what do you want everybody to think about you? Like, what do you want legacy wise?
Honestly, I just want to be remembered as the guy that shows up and throws big punches, man. I'm not the most athletic guy in the league. I'm not the fucking toughest or or the baddest, but I want everyone to know when I show up that I'm putting it all on the line. Obviously I put it all on the line in my last fight. I bet my whole fight purse on myself. And I don't want to be remembered for betting my whole fight purse, but I just want to be remembered as the guy that believed in himself. And no matter who he was fighting, he showed up and slang bombs, man. That's all I want to be remembered for.
And then lastly, what would you have to say to people that are looking to turn pro in MMA? What advice would you give them?
Be ready for a long haul, man. It's crazy because I started off in 2007. It took me 14 years to achieve my goal, to achieve my dream. It takes a doctor 8 years or 10 years to get his doctorate, and he's guaranteed he's going to make a $250,000 the rest of his life, no matter what. I've put in 13, 14 years, and I've gotten one incredible paycheck, and I've fallen short a couple times in a row. So be ready for a lot of disappointment. Be ready for the highest highs. Be ready for the lowest lows. And if you're not ready for that, you're in the wrong sport.
Well, Justin Jaynes, I thank you so much for coming on here with me. We look forward to see you back in the octagon, hopefully in the next month or two. And I hope that your news is fully here in the next couple of weeks so you could get back to training.
Absolutely, man. Hey, I appreciate you having me. Just hit me up anytime if you ever want to chop it up.
And thank you so much. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thanks, you too, man. I'll talk
to you later. But once again, that is Justin Jaynes, UFC veteran. He's looking to get back into the octagon in the next month or two. Great stories from him about the betting on himself, and then about the wear thing that he's went through. You can definitely check out that on Instagram under Justin Jaynes. So definitely search him, give him a follow on Instagram, and scroll down so you can check out that story. But once again, this is Cage by IQ, the best place for MMA content. You can follow us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and also Twitch at the handles to the left. And of course, we're now partnered with the Fighters First Network. So just give us a like on all of our videos and give us a comment and let us know what you think of all of our videos. And of course, we have merch now. All you got to do is go to fightersfirst.shop, scroll down to the Cage My IQ collection, and then check out our one shirt that we have in 3 different styles and the hoodie that we have out. Fall's coming up in the next month or two, so definitely don't waste time and grab our hoodie to get ready for the cooler weather. But it once again, just check it out. Like one of our shirts at Fighters First shop right here. I'm wearing the Bruce Lee Legendary shirt. It's great. You can check that out too. We got the branded Contino collection. You can check that out. And then we got the Art of MMA collection. So we got a whole wide range of shirts on there. Check out one of those. And once again, I'm your host, D-Bake. This was the interview with Justin Jaynes, and I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. I will talk to you guys later.